What's up, Michigan State fans? This is you, Katsunika here, back for another episode of the Michigan State Spartans Insider Podcast. This is another podcast for Sunday, April 5th, 2026. Happy Easter, everyone here today. Going to talk some more hoops here with you guys. Again, Tom Izzo's going on some more shows, going here and there. And again, revealing some stuff. We've gone over kind of the schedule for non-conference next season, already looking real good. Again, you got Duke, you got Arkansas, you've got Gonzaga. He says he might throw one more game in there, like a premier game. There's UConn in an exhibition game, so there'll be no shortage of non-conference games. That'll be interesting next year, which is kind of the usual here at Michigan State. Again, the real surprising headline was he was entertaining the Phoenix Suns job last offseason. Obviously, didn't take it. Didn't really seem to indicate that he had actually been offered it. But again, still news when you hear that Tom Izzo was at least somewhat considering the NBA over Michigan State. Again, been here 32 years now, or 31 years, I should say now, as the head coach, 40 plus. When you count his time as an assistant, no bones about it. That's major news. Next up is, I guess, we're getting close to the portal being open. It officially opens on Tuesday, the day after the national championship game. So it's going to be busy. There's a lot of players going in and out, but I do think just the way Izzo's been talking right now on these shows, he's gone on Jack Ebling's show, he's gone on Tim Stout's show, he's gone on Dan Patrick. I don't know if this is going to be a very, very busy portal season for Michigan State. It was unusually, I guess, for MSU standards, it was pretty hectic last season. You lost three guys to the portal last year. Xavier Booker, Garrick Norman were relatively expected. Trey Hallman's a little bit different. But you added four players in the transfer portal, which is something you're not really used to here. You're talking about brain fart, Divine Ugochukwu from Miami, Florida, Trey Fort from Stanford, Denim Wojcik from Harvard, and then Caleb Glenn, of course, from Fort Atlantic. He missed the entire season due to injury. This year, I think it's going to be different. There are three main guys who I think are like primary candidates to like enter the portal. Like if they enter the portal, I'm not saying they will, but I'm saying given just playing time circumstances, I would not be surprised if like Curtain entered the portal, Jesse McCullough entered the portal. There's one other guy who I'm now blanking on. Curtain, Jesse McCullough. I'm trying to go through here. And Divine Ugochukwu. That's why I've just been talking about him. All three guys kind of in an interesting spot. Again, Ugochukwu kind of sandwiched boxed out of the starting lineup a little bit. I mean, he kind of knew what he was getting into here when he came to Michigan State. His eligibility lined up right with Fears. Jeremy Fears is not going to be relinquishing his starting role as long as he's a Spartan. I still think he'll be a Spartan next season. But again, you have Carlos Medlock coming down the pike next season. Really, really talented freshman. As of right now, I think he's good enough to where I think you have to give him at least a bit of a role next season. So that can eat into Ugochukwu's minutes. So I'm going to be very interested to see what he does coming next season. Again, Curtain going into that, just when you become an upperclassman, you're a junior, and it still doesn't really look like you're going to have a starting role. Again, like you have to keep someone of these guys out of the pool, like Jordan Scott, Cohen Carr, Caleb Glenn. Like those guys kind of like have to start. Like Josiah Jervis could start. And I don't know if you're going to start Curtain. I don't know if I see that. So again, junior year, not really seeing him, enter the starting lineup. Could see him going elsewhere and trying to get that type of role somewhere else. Because this year was an opportunity for him to go get it with Holloman leaving, and he never really played consistently enough to get that at Michigan State. Again, McCullough, 2 years here, redshirted 1 year, and then was phased out of the rotation. At the end of the year this year, just wouldn't be stunned by it again. Not too much playing time as maybe you would like, but again, there is a bigger role waiting for him here. Again, Izzo's not really gonna recruit over him so much. Like he needs a center. You need a big center. Like McCullough's not going to be starting next season, but you need a center in the transfer portal. But I do think he'll still structure it in a way where McCall is kind of that backup five option, which I think can definitely work. But again, still just another guy that it wouldn't stun me. But overall, none of those guys could leave. There's always that chance because Izzo, I don't think he's necessarily going to push anyone out. They might talk about him, like, okay, it might be best for everyone to move on, but I don't think he's going to go necessarily right to someone and say, like, you're cut, go enter the portal. I don't know if that's something he does because I think to some level, Izzo thinks he owes it to them. No, maybe he's probably justified in thinking that. Like, I recruited you, I chose you, so you stick with me. I'm going to stick with you. So I can kind of get that. So I don't think you're going to see, you're never really going to see an exodus at Michigan State, but I don't think you'll necessarily see a ton of guys entering the portal. And Izzo has been, kind of been saying that on these shows. He's kind of talking in ways where they've sat down for meetings, like those initial meetings right after the UConn game, and he seemed to think everyone kind of wants to come back. Like he's maybe talking this, but and to some level, I think he's right because at the end of the day, the portal isn't officially open until Tuesday. The players could be entering the portal right now. Like it's really still a free for all area right now. You just can't like get like phone calls are being made all over the country for portal prospects. All you have to do is just announce your intention to transfer, and that's good enough. Really, you can just go through the agent from there. And you haven't seen a Michigan State player announce their intention to enter the portal as I'm at the moment that I'm recording this on Saturday evening, a little before the Final Four games start. So, like, I think it's better to do it earlier than later because guys are already making phone calls, connections are being made. Here goes this, here goes that. You wait too long, your spot at a certain school that you might desire, it might be gone. You're limited. The longer you wait, the more you're limiting your opportunities. And you haven't seen any MSU player at this moment make that type of decision. Izzo, I think I can't remember which one he said it on. I think it might have been Ebling's show, where he kind of hinted at players might test the NBA draft waters. I wrote an article on this. I could see Jeremy Fears and Cohen Carr doing that. Those are two guys who I think they're good enough players. They have the measure, like Cohen Carr especially has the measurables where he like teams are going to be very very interested in talking to him and giving him feedback because like obviously the potential for Cohen Carr in the league in the NBA, excuse me, is sky high if he develops that jump shot. And again, they'll be talking to him. They'll be giving him pointers. Again, Fears, I think, will kind of be the same way, just developing more as a scorer as well. And maybe, like, I think you'll see both of them. I'm trying to specify what they might tell Fears, but again, elite passer. And they might have concerns with the stuff that went on with Fears during the season. Obviously, the reputation Fears has had for himself as well. Like, because again, they hand out teas like candy in the NBA, so maybe they want him to tone down on that a little bit or something. But still, I could see both of them entering the portal. I don't know if or not the portal, the NBA draft waters. There's no harm in it these days because you can just retain your college eligibility, go get some feedback for about a month or so, and then before the deadline, you can just pull back out of the NBA draft and come right back to Michigan State. Jaden Akins did that a couple of years ago, so it's not that unusual. So that would be something that wouldn't surprise me either. But again, overall, I still don't think you're going to see a ton of players leave from Michigan State. I don't think you're going to get out of it unscathed. I don't think you. I just don't think that's something that happens these days, where everyone who can come back comes back. But I wouldn't be stunned if you're talking about like one guy leaving. Maybe you have two, maybe you have three, but I don't think you're going to see a whole bunch of guys leaving through the portal or the NBA draft this season. And therefore, with the scholarship situation, you have a big class coming in for freshmen. Maybe you're looking at a class where the only guy you pick up in the portal, because again, Izzo's very selective in how he does it. Maybe it's only one guy that you bring in through the transfer portal. Maybe it's two. So I don't think you're going to see as busy of a portal season as you did last season. But yeah, that's all for today. There'll be plenty more written content coming your way. Toned down for Easter Sunday, but you can get all of our written content at SpartanNation.com or Michigan State Spartans NSI. Thank you, though, for listening or watching. There'll be plenty more podcast content coming your way right here. But signing off, I'm Jay Katznika. I'll see you guys around.